The King Who Listened Too Late. Before we begin, if you enjoy these late night winter stories, please consider liking and subscribing. Now, listen. The kingdom of Halvorn had not known silence for years. Even at night, the city breathed, guards shifting on stone walls. Banners stirring in the wind, distant forges cooling but never fully quiet. The palace stood above it all, heavy with age and expectation, its towers casting long shadows that reached far beyond the inner courtyards. King Ulrich stood alone at the narrow window of the eastern chamber, looking down at a city that no longer felt his. He had ruled for 27 years, long enough for loyalty to age into habit, and habit into something far less reliable. Behind him, the fire burned low. He had ordered the servants away hours earlier. Tonight was not meant for ceremony. A knock came at the door. 3 measured strikes. He did not turn. "Enter," he said. The door opened quietly. A man stepped inside, wrapped in a dark traveling cloak still dusted with road snow. He removed his hood but did not bow. That alone would have once been unthinkable. "You ask for the truth," the man said, "not comfort." Aldrich nodded slowly. "Then speak." The man crossed the room and placed a sealed parchment on the table between them. The wax bore no royal crest, no house sigil, only a simple mark, pressed deep. "The Eastern Lords met again," he said, "without invitation, without witnesses." Ulrich closed his eyes. "How many?" "Enough." The word settled heavily. "And my son?" the king asked. The silence that followed was answer enough. "He was there," the man said carefully. "He did not lead the meeting, but he listened." Ulrich turned at last. Age had carved lines into his face that no crown could hide. His voice, when it came, was quiet. "Listening," he said, "is how betrayal begins." The man shifted his weight, or how it ends. The fire cracked softly. Outside, the wind moved through the banners, restless. Ulrich walked to the table and broke the seal. He read slowly, once, then again. Names filled the page. Familiar ones, trusted ones, men he had raised from nothing and rewarded with land and title. "They think me weak," he said. "They think you tired," the man replied. "They think the kingdom will choose blood over crown." Ulrich folded the parchment. "And if they write?" The man did not answer. That night, no orders were given. No arrests made. The palace slept uneasily, unaware that the balance had shifted. At dawn, the prince arrived. He did not knock. "You sent for me," he said, standing tall in the doorway. wearing armor polished more for appearance than war. Aldrich studied him carefully. His son carried the same eyes, the same jawline, but not the same patience. "You were at the Eastern Council," the king said. The prince did not deny it. "I listened." "Why?" "Because the kingdom was changing," the prince replied, "and you refused to hear it." Aldrich's gaze hardened. "I hear plenty." "No," the prince said. "You remember. There is a difference." The words struck deeper than any accusation. "They fear collapse," the prince continued. "They fear what happens when you're gone." "And what do you fear?" Aldrich asked. The prince hesitated. "That you will leave nothing but silence behind." For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Aldrich smiled faintly, not with warmth, but with understanding. "I built this kingdom with silence," he said, "with patience, with listening when others shouted." He rose slowly from the throne. "If they want a future," he continued, "they'll have to survive the present." The prince's eyes widened slightly. "What are you planning?" Aldrich placed the folded parchment into the fire. The flames took it eagerly. "Nothing," he said, "and that is what will terrify them most." Within days, the Eastern lords received invitations, not to court, but to wait. Guards were repositioned, supply lines quietly redirected. Messengers vanished into the countryside with sealed words meant for unseen ears. The kingdom did not erupt into chaos. It held its breath. When the council finally gathered, it was smaller than expected. Some never arrived. Others arrived too late. The prince watched from the gallery as his father listened, truly listened, to every voice raised against him. He spoke last. "You believed I did not hear you," Aldrich said calmly. "That was your first mistake." No executions followed. No public trials. Only removal. Land reassigned. Titles dissolved. Names erased from record. By nightfall, the kingdom was quieter than it had been in years. The prince found his father once more at the eastern window. "You won," he said. Aldrich did not turn. "No," he replied. "I endured." The prince swallowed. "And when you're gone?" Aldrich finally looked at him. "Then you will listen," he said, "earlier than I did." When King Aldrich died years later, the city mourned softly. The banners did not tear. The walls did not shake. And the prince, now king, stood at the same window, watching a kingdom that still breathed, still listened, and still remembered the cost of speaking too late.